by bread alone. Yeah, this word got food in it. Stepping on the devil dome. You should see the bruise in it. Backing out the scripts. Told a demon to stand down. Go against the Most High. We gon' see how it pan out. The Father gave me hope. Fill me with the ghosts. Now they hate it when I glow. Joseph with the coat. Looking for their fruit, but they ain't got no cantaloupe. The Messiah or Belial, you can't be a fan of both. Can't serve two masters. Bread of heaven with the living water, yeah, serving up a truth platter. We ain't idolizing no folly, now we setting up a new standard. When Christ touched down, make the whole earth shake like Bruce Banner. Yeah, bringing them troops to ya. End times getting spookier. Warfare getting nuclear. Mankind getting goofier. They intoxicated with a wine, damn, she done roofied them. I'm checking every word. Spirit doctrine like a proofreader. I hate these Nicolaitans. Hate these raving idols, man, I hate these flipping pagans. Try to play my father and I hate these.
All right, I want to give all glory, honor, and thanks to the Most High Yahweh, and we do so in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his house of brands, with Soldier Sundays. And today we're going to touch on an important topic. You know, it's really some milk, but it's really heavy, though, because this is something that we lack in our community. And these two things would change the trajectory of where we're going and what we're doing tremendously. And them two things is love and unity. That's the main thing that we're lacking as a people in our community. And you know, I'm gonna commentate on this interview on the Danzer Project with Danzer and Dr. Umar. So you could start it, bro. And then
you won't. Yeah.
Mark, you give me Psalms 133 and 1. You could start that after he bring the scripture out.
All right, bet. All right, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 133 and verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
And that's the main thing that we need, you know. How good is it and how pleasant is it for brethren, you know, for family, for kinfolk to dwell in unity? Because if we don't look after each other, if we don't care for each other, if we don't love each other, you know, who else is gonna come in and do that for us? You know, we got more than enough experience, more than enough examples. I say 500 years plus, really more than that, because you can go throughout the Bible. But if we just talk in present day, you know, in layman's terms, you know, for people in the world, and just, you know, on a simple basis, we got 500 years plus of examples of why we need to dwell in unity and look to have love and unity amongst each other instead of trying to have unity and love for everybody else. Now you can start the video, bro.
You won't. What do you think is the core message that you want to deliver to the black youth?
My core message is liberation through unity. My core message is, as Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois said once, who was a Pan-Africanist, although he was an enemy of the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Du Bois said, if black people put half as much time into building for ourselves that we do arguing with the government, we'd be a lot further along than where we are now. Take reparations. I support reparations. It was the Pan-Africanist movement that gave birth to reparations. And we are entitled to it, and we should fight for it, and we will get it. But while we're waiting for that, or while we're fighting for that, we are a $2 trillion people, you know. We are the 10th richest economy on earth, you know. You do know we spend $2 billion on Jordans and $4 billion on liquor every year, you know. Almost $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork, financing our own cancer. My point is, fight the system for what they owe us, but hold yourself accountable for what you have that you're not using to advance your community. That is a fundamental Pan-Africanist and a Garvey critique of the Black experience in America. We could be doing more with what we have, and we're not. all these schools closed down? Why we ain't buying them and opening up our own schools? Why we don't have our own hospitals? Right? When that COVID and they killed off all our elders with the COVID, where the black hospitals at? We owned and operated more than 500 black hospitals in America. 500 in 400 years. That's more than a hospital a year. We down to maybe a dozen now. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So yes, fight the government for what we need. You got to fight them because they're racist and they're oppressive and they're always trying to marginalize us. But come on, y'all. You mean to tell me we shouldn't have more banks of our own, more hospitals of our own, more supermarkets of our own, more schools of our own? Why y'all so worried about Dr. Umar's school? You build one. That's only one. We need hundreds of them. Where yours at? And I really believe that slavery stole from us our natural God-given desire to control our destiny. We are not stingy about power. We are not selfish about control. Every other community is. And I think a part of that stems from the religious indoctrination that has made the American African people feel like they have to love everybody as much as they love themselves.
You stop it right there.
When you love everybody.
Now, I like what he said, and in the House of Bread, we got the school of thought that just not, African Americans and, Haitians, Jamaicans from the diaspora, but also to our Latino brothers, that they and the Native American brothers, that they too are our kinfolk and our family. But he said, that slavery stripped us of our desire, to do for self, and the religious indoctrination of Christianity made us to think that we are to love everybody else outside of ourselves. And we know, you feel me, from the curses that we will have that evil eye towards each other and that we hate each other. Now, that's because, as he said, the religion indoctrination, it caused us not to desire ourselves and to love everybody else outside of ourselves. We don't prefer each other anymore. We don't look to the next brother, to get us, to help us up out of our situation. We don't prefer each other anymore. And that's a big problem. Can you bring me out Romans 12 and 10?
Romans. Just the book of Romans, chapter 12 and verse 10. Be kindly, affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another.
And that's the main message, that we need to prefer one another, because over the last 500 plus years, we've been looking for somebody outside of ourselves, outside of our kinfolk, outside of our race, to do something for us, or, to come in, quote unquote, to save us from our oppression that we're in. We're looking for the same people that put us in chains, that's violated us, that's discriminated against us, that's killed us, lynched us, and etc. All of the above, to have a change of heart after 500 years plus of them doing this to us. And 10 times out of 10, I'm not even going to say 9 times out of 10, because I don't see it ever happening. 10 times out of 10, that's never going to happen, So we got to come together with one body and one mind to get on the same accord, to get on the same accord and just dwell together in unity, because we are looking for that salvation, that saving. But as bring it up.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help, and our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
See, that's heavy. We've looked for a nation that hasn't saved, that's not going to save us. aka the Edomites, also known as the Caucasians. You know, we look for gifts here. You know, they give us SNAP, they give us welfare, they gave us the right to vote, and all other types of things that made us comfortable with our oppression. To where people want to stay here. I don't want to. I don't want to stay here. People say, you know, we free now. Well, back in slavery, you still had a number of our people that were free too. You know, so it's really no difference in the world that we're living in today. Slavery really just faces. So they really got us in the same conditions, just with a different face. And you know, we say we free and all of that, but if you think about it, how destroyed are we to think that? Because we're still in a land that's not ours, and we speak a language that's not ours, oppressed by people. We shouldn't be oppressed by anybody, but at least if we were oppressed by our own people, that's an in-house problem that we would have to deal with amongst ourselves.
Right.
I could live a little better knowing that, but knowing that we're under the foot of another nation that literally hates us, and you guys are comfortable here, and you guys don't want to leave here, just like the Israelites, which we are, and we left out of Egypt. Motherfuckers wanted to go back. I promise you, when Yahweh Shai comes back, when he come back, and we get saved out of this captivity, motherfuckers gonna be like, yo, take me back to America. Just how back in Egypt, when we got taken out of Egypt, man, niggas wanted to go back to Egypt. Like, what you mean? Like, we just came out of oppression. We just came out of slavery. Why would you want to go back? Because people got comfortable, you know, with the oppression. And especially here in America, you know, they give us gifts. They give us, you know, things to make the oppression, you know, a little softer. Just like you got prison now. You know, we got our people going to prison, and they made it comfortable for them in there. I see dudes with phones in there. They on TikTok. They on Facebook. They got video games in there. They got all types of stuff in there. And it's just comfortable for them in there. So that's why you see a number of them going back. And sometimes we can't fathom why, you know, why they keep going back. Well, it's easier there. You get 3 hots in the cot. You know, you don't really want for nothing in there.
Right.
Get $2 a day, you know. And if you know how to hustle, and you know how to barter and trade in there, you know, you got people living there. They rich in there. They got commissary stores and all type of stuff, because that's their what is it? That's their money in there. So, you know, they make it comfortable for us. You go ahead and play the video back.
I could bring out a point too.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's like we look to the heathen for like that extra get up. Yeah, I mean, but it's like once you get that, like, what do? Like, you don't put your people on. You be like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want no other black billionaires next to you at that point. You don't burst so many bridges of your people to be that house nigga, and you finally get it.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring your people up in there. You know what I mean? And then it's like you got bosses you got black boss at like they say that the worst type of boss is a black woman. And they say that for a reason. Because these white people put them in that position of power just to keep their foot on our neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
It's a control thing. I forget what they called it, but it was a thing back in slavery where at the end of the year they would let 1 or 2 slaves go free every year. And that correlates to now, because in order for you to make it, the most of our people that's making it rich and getting up out of the ghetto aren't your everyday people. It's the minority of people. And, you know, us growing up, it was perpetuated to us that, nigga, the only way to make it out is, you know, sports or entertainment. And
Right.
I was just watching another interview with Dr. Umar, and he was relating it back to the slavery thing, how they let only one or two slaves go or slaves make it to make it seem possible, like, oh, you can obtain this too. But they're only letting the minority of you go. Just like with the entertainment and the entertainment business and sports, it's only in the same sense one or two people making it. Minority of people making it. It's not a it's not a it's not a job that can be obtained by everybody. It's a small window and a small gap. You know,
Right.
just like how, you know, in the Bible it says, you know, broad is the way to destruction, you know, narrow is the path, you know, to righteousness. In that case, you know, to make it in that world is narrow. The broader your people is not going to make it into the NFL. They're not going to make it into the NBA. They're not going to make it, you know, comedy in the spaces that we fill up, because they want to give you that false hope of, oh, well, there's no excuse. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Jay-Z made it. 50 Cent made it. Cat Williams made it. But they're giving them that, you know, and that's to give us that false hope that, okay, we can make it too.
Right.
But everybody can't make it, because if everybody could, everybody would, you know.
Right.
So it's not space for everybody in them spaces, and that's the main spaces, you know. If we want to get up out of our situation, that we gonna occupy. We're not the propaganda, and, you know, the media is not gearing us, our young kids, and putting in their mind that, you know, go be a doctor, or, you know, engineering, or this or that. Now, our black women, they the most educated right now. They're in the nursing space. They're all into the other things. So they're doing good. Our black men just gotta hop on that same train, you know, and follow suit. But you could continue with the video.
Everybody, as much as you love yourself, you're never a priority, not even for yourself. So we can't catch up unless we get undivided attention. Look at our professional organizations. Congressional Black Caucus, they for everybody, not just black people. They rewrote their mission statement a few years ago to reflect we're for everybody, not just blacks. NAACP, we're for everybody, not just blacks. Urban League, we're for everybody, not just blacks. The fraternities and sororities, the Divine Nine, I love them, but they're for everybody, not just for blacks. What organization has an undivided focus on the liberation and salvation and emancipation of African people in this country? You can hardly find them. And a big part of that is so many of our organizations.
I'm gonna tell you which institution does have that mindset. You know, like I said, we don't agree on everything that he's talking about, you know, as in all Africans, but, you know, I can entertain the sentiment and agree with what he's saying. Or, like I said, our school of thought is we're the Israelites, Latinos, blacks, and Native Americans, but, you know, this Bible and that we're Israelites. That's the institution. You feel me? That's moving with that mindset. This the club where everybody can't get in. We're not worried about everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not saying that to say, you know, you got to go out and hate everybody. But if you're gonna be here, you gotta love us more than you love everybody else. And before we go help anybody, which I don't plan on helping nobody else because everybody helping us. But before you go help anybody else, you got to make sure you good at home. You got to make sure the whole front is good, is straight, is, you know, the back door is closed, locked up. We got protection on the outside, and, you know, when we waiting on the inside for somebody to infiltrate if they even try to, you know, even if they could get that close, because we got to prefer each other and put each other first, you know. In this day and age, you know, with us being divided, us Israelites, we divided by everything. We divided with sports, we divided with politics, We divided by skin color, dark skin, light skin. It don't matter. We'll find something to argue about and go against each other. We'll find something.
Right.
You know, you could tell one of us is sky blue, man. A motherfucker just come out the blue just to argue down that it's not blue. You feel me? Just because we got that, we don't prefer each other. We love to go against each other, but we love to cape for everybody else. When everybody's seen everything that we done been through, everybody know what we done been through. But when it come to the 9/11, they don't forget that. When it come to the Holocaust, they don't want you to forget that. When they had the whole COVID thing with the Japanese people or whatever they was, the Asians. Oh, that ain't last for too long. They made a bill for them. Bro, we've been facing oppression in this land for hundreds of years. Where's our laws? We've been fighting for laws for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And they spoon feed the stuff just to get us to shut up. But the stuff that they put in to play for us, it benefits them more than it benefits us. So who did they really do it for?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You can continue.
And it's
Now,
like, if
what's
I
up?
could add a point to that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you mean like our people are just had this like hope, like, all right, for instance, on the Nat Turner movie,
Yeah.
he went, the slave master let him go. I believe go watch his wife give birth or go save his wife, something like that, right? But the average nigga like me, when I was nowhere watching it, when he came back, he killed the slave master. I'm like, damn, like why the fuck he kill him? Like he just let him go. I mean, go get his wife and da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
I mean, like why he do that? But it's like, nigga, he didn't free you. You still was gonna be a slave at the end of the day. He just threw you a little bone.
Yeah.
So our people think just because Esau give him a little bone that they just out of slavery. It's like, no, bro. No, you still in slavery, bro. At the end of the day, you know what I mean, you're not fully free until you come to these laws and commandments. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. But like the average nigga be like, oh no, man, like that was messed up. Like he should have like kept him alive. Like you know I mean, no, but at the end of the day, he should have killed him. No matter how much leeway the bull gave him, like he should. You know I mean, he did what he had to do.
Yeah. And that's the sad truth of the matter. That's the sad truth of the matter. And it's like we could see, like, I'm pretty sure everybody sees, but everybody acts blind, to the fact that we've been oppressed and we're still being oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't be having them same sentiments towards our own people. Because ultimately they wanted boy to show the slave master mercy.
All right.
But you probably still holding the grudge against your cousin, against your mom, against your dad. Yeah, where the mercy for them?
Mm-hmm.
Where the mercy for your own people? Where's the mercy for your family? Before you give it out to people that's not of our nation. I could see if in a perfect world that they never did what they did to us, because the thing is, we're not a hateful people at all. That's why we're so welcoming to everybody. But a lot of us got this disdain, and white people and other races act like it's just coming from out of nowhere. No, we are reacting. Every action has a reaction. We reacting to the racism, and then they try to flip it on us and say we're being racist. And call it what you want, but we reacting to the racism. You can't be mad if you hit me and I get mad.
Right.
As simple as that. You can continue with the video.
Organizations are financed by white philanthropy. If they're funding you, you can't be pro-black.
Can never be greater.
You can't, because we are not popular in this country. So if you're taking money from anybody talking about I'm going to use it to help black people, you're going to run into a brick wall. You cannot do that. That's why we have to finance ourselves. There was a book written. I have it. I haven't completed reading it. And it's called The Revolution Will Not Be Financed.
Oh,
The book is talking about why we haven't made more progress in America because we keep looking for somebody else to finance the movement.
right.
The government didn't finance King. The government didn't finance the Panthers. They didn't finance Black Liberation Army. They didn't finance the Nation. They didn't finance Garvey.
That's that Lamentations, Slagia.
Bring it up. That's the one you brought out.
Yeah, yep. That's that Lamentations 4.
You could bring out you could bring out Luke 17, 20 through 22.
You said Luke 17, 21, 22.
Yeah.
17. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 21. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. And he said unto the disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it.
Man, he just said the revolution not going to be financed. The revolution is not going to be financed. Our salvation is not going to be financed. And to dumb it down, it's more so saying that you got to save yourself. You know, we have to save ourselves. Nobody outside of this nation is coming to save us, whether it be financially, whether it be physically. Nobody is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. And that's why we need that unity. We need that love, because we're lacking that right now. Like I said, we're divided.
God, I got a precept too.
Bring it up.
God. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 23. Because you made a great point just now, and Dr. Umar made a great point too, right? It says, truly in vain is salvation forth from the hills and from the mountains. Truly in the Lord our God is salvation for Israel. And that's where a lot of us think we're going to go into like these different avenues where these heathens are in power and then be able to use those resources to better the community. And in some part, I don't blame our people for trying, but by and large, these Edomites are so, not even just Edomites, these heathens are crafty in a way that they set up these resources that way. When you have them, you're limited in what you can do for your people, what you can truly do for your people. Yeah, you can set up colleges, but they determine what the qualifications are for those people that get the grants or those people that get the qualifications. So we look for these people to save us when the scripture that says only the Lord is our salvation. We keep looking, oh yeah, you gotta get financial freedom first, brother. You gotta get this, that, and the third. Nah, freedom comes from the Lord.
So, and I'm gonna go to say, you know, because Luke 17, 20 through 22, it says the kingdom of God is within you. And then the kingdom of God is within us. You know, God told us we gonna manifest the kingdom once we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. And it's as simple as, he said, it's not grievous. It's as simple as us following the commandments and having that love and unity, because that's in the commandments. Right. Love for thyself. You know, Matthew 29 and 59, that tells us to love thy neighbor as thyself. So want for your neighbor what you want for yourself, and vice versa. You know, treat your neighbor how you want to be treated, and you're gonna most likely get that in return. Because our salvation isn't coming from anybody outside of our nation. It's not. Us keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, us having that unity, us having that love for each other, us following the commandments, not eating shrimp, crab, lobster, you know, pork, us not stealing from each other, messing with each other's wives, and things of that nature, and the plethora of other commandments is going to manifest that kingdom that's going to be here right on earth. It's nothing magical in the sky. You know, once we have that unity for each other, this whole system is going to flip upside down on itself, because the whole thing is we're fighting for equality from a people that gained their power off of us not being equal to them. So even if now we've seen in times where we've been quote unquote equal, that we damn near surpassed them. 50, I think 50 years out of slavery, we had booming cities of our own. You know, we had the Black Wall Street. You know, we had things of that nature. We had booming businesses. We had black banks. You know, but this right here in America, it's going to take for the system to flip upside down. We're not going to reach salvation here because, first off, we're not supposed to be here. This isn't our land. This is not where we're supposed to be resting at. And it's going to take for the system to topple over on itself for us to understand that. I was watching a Charleston White interview, and he say some extreme shit. Now, sometimes I agree with him, sometimes I don't. But he made a profound point, and a lot of people didn't like it. But he said it's going to take for us to go back into slavery for us to prefer each other again. Because it seems as if, now I know people don't like the way that sounds, but we see that's how we work. When we're under pressure, then we want to turn to each other. But when the pressure not on, we sit here in America, we getting SNAP, we getting welfare, Section 8, all this extra stuff, all these gifts that they give us, you know, to be docile. We not worried about the next person. You know, when the Phil nigga came to the house, nigga, and was like, yo, man, we finna escape. Man, we tired of this shit. Man, the house nigga like, man, get out of here with that bullshit. Yo, I got it good. I got these nice clothes on. I got a designer on. You feel me? We eating good in Master Crib. I'm probably sleeping on a nice bed. What you mean we finna escape? Matter of fact, I'm finna go tell. You shouldn't fuck the whole Yemen up. Because we comfortable in that oppression, you know. And Harriet Tubman made a profound point. You know, she said, I would have freed way more people if they knew they were slaves. And the thing is, we would wake more people up if they knew they were oppressed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because, you know, oppression make it a wise man mad. A lot of us not wise because we don't see the oppression that we're under. You know, a lot of us are good with the day-to-day life. You know, everybody is good with their day-to-day routine. Whether it be, you know, the top echelon of our people that's financially stable, you know, they not trying to come off they pedestal, you know, and put their life on the line for their people to put their comfortability on the line. And then, you know, we got the lower tier of our people that's, you know, good with everyday life, you know, going to work, getting by, getting high, getting drunk on the weekends, you know, to pass the time by. We became comfortable in this oppression. And that's made us, and that's divided us. The white man divided us. You feel me? If anybody's ever read the Willie Lynch letter, man, he said put the young against the old, put the old against the young, put the male against the female, vice versa. Put the colors against each other, light skin against brown skin, dark skin. And that's gonna keep us divided. And we see it now, present day, that it's kept us divided. It done branched off into a whole bunch of other shit to where it's like, all right, you a part of that block, nigga, we from this block, and nigga, we ain't fucking with y'all. Feel me? It's up when we see you. Shit. I remember, you feel me? I was in where was I? I was in like 3rd, 4th grade. I beat a nigga up because I like the Eagles, and he said, fuck the Eagles, nigga, it's Steelers. division. You feel me?
That's real rap though. That's real rap though.
You you see the number they did on us? You hear me? You could bring out Psalm. This is Psalms. Hold on.
I
They
got
are
two if I may.
all right. Bring that out. Let me find this.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, what's the brother that was in the Black Panthers that died? He was like 21. I forget his name.
Was it Fred Hampton?
Fred Hampton, right? So our people, right? It's like that's how, like this how much they hate us, and then the coons of our people think that they love them. It's like they hired a nigga to go undercover on our people to get him killed, right?
Yeah.
And then that same nigga they hired did an interview. They made the nigga do an interview, and then the nigga killed himself. After the interview, the nigga killed himself. Why?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't live with himself because he traded on his own brother.
Hey, that's the same guilt that our good brother Martin Luther King had when he said, I felt I've led my people into a burning building.
You see what I'm saying?
He came to the realization that, nah, I fucked up. You feel me? He probably had some great awakening. All praises to that, but it was too late by then.
It's too late. You thinking Esau gonna give you a reward, but all he do is humiliate you and our people at the end of the day, and then you end up killing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And
we think we gonna win with them, but all we do is lose at a higher level. That's it. You might have all the money and all the riches and all that, but your morality is gone. That's all they really want. They gonna give you the money, but you're gonna be the laughing stock of your people.
compromise your morals.
You know what I mean?
Take this money, compromise your morals. What you willing to do for it?
Nigga was 21, bro, and you telling me that we gotta be side by side with these people?
It's crazy.
They went in the nigga crib. They set that whole joint up. Like I was reading the article on it, and I seen the pictures of that joint. I said, damn, like
yeah. Yo, what? And it's crazy because it's like Cub went through. You feel me? Even if he did start off as a mole, you feel me? He infiltrated the Black Panthers. Damn, you think you would get in there on your initial mission and fuck around and be transformed? I'd have fucked around and been like, I'd have bailed out on them niggas. They would have made me transition over.
Mm-hmm. And he felt bad the whole time. When I watched Judas and the Black Messiah and all that, he felt bad the whole time doing it. And when you watch him in the interview, he felt bad even giving the interview. Because he didn't even know you was trading on your people.
Yeah. But shit, by the time, that's damn near informant work. I think he was an informant.
Yeah, he was.
I think they had got him off on some shit. By then, he should have, before even all that, man, I ain't compromising my morals. Nah, fuck it. I did what I did. I'm not trading on my people. Just hit me with my time. I'm not finna rat my people out for the betterment of me.
And exactly. And then our people don't understand. Every time Esau gets you out of something, you owe the nigga something.
You owe him.
It's not like he do it off the strength.
Nah, hell no. Favor for a favor. Oh, you feel me? But his favor that he need from you is far way more big than the favor he gave to you.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't nothing for Esau. He run this. You feel me? It ain't nothing for him to let you slide because Esau see the bigger picture. Esau thinking on a national level. You feel me? On a nation level.
Mm-hmm.
And I clap my hands to the Edomites because they're smart. They're conniving with it. They're deceiving with it. But I love the love that they have for their people. That they're willing to kill, steal, destroy for it. Keep their people in power. And that's how we need to be, but on a righteous level.
Right.
We need to have that same mindset on the right hand though, not the left hand. Because we know what Esau get into. You know, we know what he get into. A whole bunch of, I think the right word, debauchery. I think
Right.
I'm right. A whole bunch of crazy shit. But can you get Mark 3:25 for me? And I'm gonna end it off here because this is a good point to end it off on.
You said Mark what? 3 and what?
25.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand.
And that's why we need that love and that unity. Because if the fam be divided, we can, like Jay-Z said, even though he be cooning, he said we can't win when the family feuding.
Right.
We're not gonna win when the family at odds. We not gonna win when we in the crib and it's brother against brother, mother against son, father against son. You beefing with your cousin. How we supposed to progress? You beefing with the motherfucker that look just like you, that got the same blood as you, that come from the same as you, just because he from 3 blocks up the block, or because you bang red, he bang blue. Because that's technically what it is. Colors. You feel me? Colors, blocks, and a whole bunch of small shit that we could come together and talk about and talk it out, because that's one thing that's gonna undivide the house is forgiveness and mercy and grace. We extend that to everybody else, but to ourselves when we're the main ones that need it. Everybody else don't need mercy. They don't need grace. So I just wanted to end it off on that. It was a great lesson.
Salakia,
What's up?
great lesson, man. Great lesson. Salakia, what the big difference is other nationalities, other nations understand that self-preservation is a first law of nature.
Yes.
So it's not so much that they love each other, because white man kill a white man too.
Yeah.
Crime is local, but they understand self-preservation. We don't understand self-preservation. Is why we could kill ourselves out. I
Yeah.
look at my little island, Trinidad and Tobago. They kill so much that now we less than the Indians, the East Indians. We
Yeah.
murder in 7 a night.
Dang.
You understand? So now the East Indian is more, and they're talking major trash because they own everything. They have the economy, they have the numbers. They voted the East Indian in, and she's just saying whatever she want to say out the side of her mouth. But they practice self-preservation. They deal and talk with each other. We try to be in everybody else's grace and to be
Yeah.
friendly to everybody else, and we will diss each other. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So again, self-preservation is a big thing. Self-preservation and honor, 2 things we don't have.
All right. And with that, I say shalom.